Hey guys, I'm back, and this is New Trains Part 58. It is December the 12th, 2021. It is, I believe, 10:06 p.m. So in this installment, I'm going to be showing you some of the new trains that I recently purchased. Um, yeah, and then there's going to be some other updates as well. So I'll get started with the baggage car. So one of these came from Nicholas Smith Trains, and then the other one came from, um, I think it was Riverdale or River Station in Georgia. Oh, there goes a ballast train. Oh, wow. I knew I heard something. That's the 527 at the rear. But yeah, back to uh, back to the baggage cars. Um, yeah, one of these came from Georgia and one of these came from Nicholas Smith. I decaled them both into phase 3, and they're both slightly different, which is cool. And I've always wanted to do the Kato baggage cars in phase 3, so you guys saw my how-to video on how to make one of those. This is a Baldwin, I think it's a DR, what is it? Where's the box? DS44 1000. So this is a Baldwin DS4 Baldwin DS4 1000. And I re-decaled it for the ER&W Railroad. Let me take the baggage car off because I had to show you guys something. I also added multiple unit cables to it, front and rear, and those are from CalScale. I got those from Stroudsburg yesterday. Me and my mom took a trip up there on the 11th, and it was packed, guys. Like, it was really, really packed. And then these next 3 cars also came from Georgia. So these are 2 Accurail kits. This is a Chicago Northwestern cement hopper, an original Norfolk Southern boxcar, and a Sioux Line grain hopper from Walthers. And then this is my Centralia Car Shop's P85 coach. I haven't had a chance to test this out yet, but I believe it's a good runner. And then my buddy Michael in Germany sent me this conference car. I think it's called a conference or service car. Sorry, service car for the Amtrak ICE1. It's not an original Amtrak car. It's actually one that's been custom decaled by him. And what I did is I removed the streamlined shrouding on the ends of the car because the Amtrak cars didn't have that shrouding. So now I have all the cars for my Amtrak ICE1. I actually did my own version of this, but when I took the masking tape off, some alcohol was under it, and I inadvertently pulled off part of the stripe. So that's one reason why I asked Michael for help with that. So I sent him the decals, and he did the work for me in Germany. So thank you, Michael, for that. Um, Here's the CalScale detail kit I got. I was going to get the Details West ones, but I looked at the CalScale ones and they look a lot better. They're more like, they just have a finer detail than the cast ones from Details West. So I just got them, and they're more durable in my opinion. And then my coworkers got this Norfolk Southern Jeep 38-2 for me as a going away present. Yeah, it's a great runner. It's an Atlas unit. My first Norfolk Southern Jeep 38-2, which is cool. I'm going to get it super detailed and put sound and DCC in it eventually. And then hiding back here, if I can get this off the track, let me just clear this out a little bit. If you guys are looking at this, this is my Suline MP15 AC number 1532. Now, this is not just any Suline MP15 AC. This is the exact one I sold years back with a portion of my collection to Nicholas Smith trains, and it's been for sale ever since. And periodically, I have picked this engine up multiple times and put it back on the shelf. And every time I've gone back to the store, it was still there. So when I bought this engine in one of these baggage cars, I ended up buying that back because it honestly, it was one of the engines I regretted selling, and it's a great runner. It runs great with Atlas, Kato, Bowser, Ryko, Intermountain. It's a great runner. It's a great puller, and you can't really find any of the Suline MP15 ACs anymore. If you do, they don't last for they're not for sale for very long online. So I'm glad I actually bought that engine back, and I'm glad it's in my collection. It's going to stay in my collection. I'm not getting rid of it. I'm not selling it ever again. So at least I was able to get that one Suline engine back. If my SD40-2 was still there, I probably would have bought that too, but that was someone bought that way, way, way back. But I'm just glad to have this engine back in my collection. And then I also picked up a Crown Vic. So this will be an ER&W police car. At least I think it'll be. Not sure exactly yet, but I just bought it because I thought it was cool. And then finally, after years of debating this, I finally got my locomotive foam cradle. And I actually used this last night to put the MU cables on the Bowser Baldwin. Because a lot of times when I was doing like detail work on my locomotives, I ended up breaking stuff because I didn't have a foam cradle, or I had to be super careful. But now that I have a foam cradle, I don't have to worry about that anymore. So, yeah. And then I also picked up 2 Hot Wheels cars here, which is pretty cool. Yeah, the workbench is pretty messy right now. I'm still working on this box cab electric. This is my GE Westinghouse box cab electric. It's called the ED14. It was basically made for the Japanese Japanese railways when they first started. It's actually the only prototypically correct model that you can get of this kind of box cab in HO scale. No one else makes it in HO scale except maybe brass, but this is the only plastic one available. The downside with this model is the gears that they used are with a cheap plastic, and they are completely deteriorated. There's only one axle that has a gear on it, and it doesn't even move anymore. Keep in mind, this is a $300 box cab, and it's been a problem for me ever since I bought it. I think that's why I got it on sale, because it wasn't really in that good of shape to begin with. But if I could find someone that can 3D print me some gears for this thing and install them, this engine would be a beast of a puller, because it's got great amount of weight, and it's DCC ready. It's changed the pantographs on it. It's a great representation of a box cab, especially the early box cabs. But you can still get these from over in Japan, because they're usually just sold in Japan. That's where I got that one from. But they're very, very expensive. Like, they're like $300 to $400, which is mind-blowing, considering that a lot of the detail parts, like, if you look at the contacts on this thing, they could have done a lot better with the pickups, in my opinion. And the side frames, Yeah, they don't stay on the model either. So a lot of the molding that they used for like the truck side frames, they need to redo their molds for that. I don't know if they did, but a lot of the design flaws on this should be fixed and probably have been, but I just haven't gotten around to buying another one because I just don't want to be in a position where I buy one of these again and it's the same issue. But enough of my rambling there. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I've been doing, guys. I do have some more things in the works with trains. And I will keep you posted on that. You guys be cool. God bless, and I will see you around. Later, y'all.